welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to demonstrate a few different ways to format text in Apple Motion 5. We'll apply colors, gradients, and textures to our text. We'll look at presets, we'll create our own appearance and format preset, we'll save it, apply it, and then we'll delete it cleanly from our workspace. Let's get started. We'll start by opening a new file from the project browser. Make sure it's a motion project. Our preset is Broadcast HD, 29.97 frames per second and 10 seconds in duration. Click on Open. I'll just adjust my screen. Now we'll come up and adjust my canvas to fit so we see everything. And before we do anything else, let's save our file. Okay, let's create our background. Click on the default group, go to your library, choose Generators, and Color Solid. Click on Apply. Now we'll go to the inspector and see if we can't change this to a more reasonable color. I'm choosing silver. Now we'll close that up. Let's change the name of this group to Background and then lock it down. We'll create a new group by right-clicking on the Media panel, choosing New Group, and let's import a movie. I'll find the movie I'm looking for, which is Black Hole 10, and click on Import. I'll change the name of this group to be Movie, and also lock it down. Let's turn off the group's visibility for now. I'll create another group and this time call it Text. With the text group selected, I'll click on the text tool from the menu and type the words Sample Text. Now I'll grab the Transform tool and resize the text so you can better see it. I'm simply holding the Shift key and dragging out the lower right hand handle. I'll open up the inspector and look at the Properties panel, which looks the same as any other object's property panel. We have no behaviors and no filters, but when I click on text, you can see I have three sub-panels, Format, Appearance, and Layout, that I can now choose from. I can choose a predefined collection, or in this case I'll leave it at all fonts. I can then choose from any font that has been installed on my system. I can look at the weight, the size, modify the alignment, both horizontally and vertically, line spacing, and tracking. And for anyone that doesn't know, tracking is simply the space between each character. Notice that a lot of the settings in the Advanced tab are actually the same ones that you could set on your Properties tab. Once again, Apple gives us many ways to make the same change. However, we also have the ability to change the slant, the monospace, and to convert our text to all caps. When we set a percentage here, it becomes the relative percentage of the lowercase letters to a truly capitalized one. Okay, on the Appearance tab, we have the ability to change it to 3D text. We can modify the face, the outline, the glow, and the drop shadow. We'll look at each of these in a bit. Let's first look at presets. When I click on the word normal, you'll see that I'm given an opportunity to look at either 2D styles or 3D styles. These are presets that come already as part and parcel of Apple Motion. Let's go ahead and select one. How about neon? This is not exactly what I had in mind, so I'm going to change a few of my settings. Make sure your text is selected, and then I'm going to click on the Format tab. And in this case, I'm going to change the size. I think something a little bit more reasonable, say like 23 points. Is what I'm looking for. Yeah. I also don't like how the drop shadow is so far from my actual text. So going into the Appearance panel, I'll scroll down till I see the Drop Shadow tab, and I'm going to change the distance to be, oh, let's say 10 points. And maybe the scale, instead of 117, let's drop that back to 110 as well. Okay, that's much better. Actually, I think I want to change the distance on that drop shadow. Well, let's move it down to, say, 5 points. Okay, that's better. And now with my text selected, if I click on the neon, you'll see that I can save my format and appearance attributes. When I click on that, I have an opportunity to name it. I'll name it Neon 1 and click the Save button. All right, let's go ahead, create some new text. And with the new text selected, we'll apply our previously saved Neon 1 preset. Remember, we had already resized our text before we applied the preset. So in this case, it doesn't resize our text. We'll have to do that ourselves. But you can see all the other changes we made have been applied. Let's do this again, but this time we'll choose another preset that I created earlier. We'll apply the Rainbow 1 preset and resize our text. Essentially, this is a gradient that's been applied to the face of our text. So right now I have two custom presets, the Neon 1 and the Rainbow 1. For the sake of keeping things clean, what happens if I want to get rid of these guys? Well, first of all, let me show you where they live. If you go to the library, under textiles, make sure all are selected. And now when you scroll down through the textiles, we should find Neon 1. And in this case, we can either move it to the trash here, we can add it to a theme, we can edit its description, or we can reveal it in the Finder. There's our Neon 1, reveal in the Finder, and you can see that there are three files. There's the Neon 1 menu, the Neon 1 Molo, and the Neon 1 PNG. There's also the same three files for the Rainbow. So we'll go ahead, select those, and move them to the trash. However, if I select this, choose the drop down, you see that they still live in my drop down list. That's okay. We'll save our file, and then once we close Motion and restart it, we'll open up our file. Okay, I've got my file, and now when I click on the inspector, you'll see that both those presets have been removed. So that's a clean, simple way to remove presets that you saved. Okay, let's look at modifying some of the other appearance options. Our face, outline, glow, and drop shadows. Starting at the face, you note that I can change the fill type to be color, in which case I can go ahead and change my RGB values. I can change the opacity. This is really cool for when you're keyframing behavior. I can change the blur, which is also another cool feature when you're keyframing. We'll look at keyframing in another video. And now when I twirl down on the far corner, watch this. I get options to twirl down on bottom left, bottom right, and top left. And if I select one of those values and just change it slightly, look what happens to my text. So now I have some really funky options for working with text. Okay, we'll set them back. Let's look at our outline. We'll turn off our face for now. You'll see again, I can change the opacity, I can change the color, I can change the blur, and the width is the width of the line. Now let's turn our face back on for a second. And if you look at the layer order, we have under face and over face. That is simply where the outline is. Does it live beneath or below the face, or is it sitting on top of the face? All right, now let's look at the glow. Again, we can play around with all sorts of settings, but let's look at our offset. Oh, so now I can move my glow just slightly on both the X and Y axes. And once again, I have the option of underface or overface. And yep, I can change my 4-corner settings. All right, let's look at drop shadow. So we've got some preset defaults. I think I'm just going to leave them as is for now. Another thing I did want to demonstrate though is that if I choose a fill with texture option, I can now fill my text with either an image or, believe it or not, a movie. Let's go ahead, create a new group and import an image so you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to call this image and I'll click on my import. I'll go find an image. Hang on a second. I have a whole bunch of images in here. I'll just have to choose one. No. Nope. Okay, let's go with that one. We'll click on import. Now we'll turn its visibility off because it's doing nothing, absolutely nothing for me there. I'll select my text tool and now I'll drag that image into my image well. Well, maybe I should have chosen a different one. That doesn't look all that riveting. Okay, let's see if we can do the same thing, but this time we'll drag a movie into that image well. I'll make sure that it's unlocked, select my text, and now I'll drag that black hole movie. That doesn't look all that riveting, but let me play it for you. Now that's kind of cool. So you see we can do a whole bunch of things to format text. And we haven't even looked at the 3D options. We'll check those out in another video. Spend some time with it. Play around. I think you'll have fun. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, share with your friends, and leave me a comment below. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and click on the bell icon to be notified when new videos are posted. Don't forget to check out our website where you can find other free stuff like seamless patterns, deco toners, Illustrator brushes, and page borders. That's at www.lillizzy.net. Cheers!